Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS. In today's video, we're going to share 10 hard, unfortunate truths for returning Yu-Gi-Oh players, because we all know how it is when you get your old school player who played 10 years ago in grade school back into the game. There are some kind of tough things that they have to kind of adapt to. So we'll share 10 of them and we're going to take turns. So let's get started.
So you need a new deck because that's not going to work out for you anymore. The deck that you were beating your scrub friends back in scrub school where you were a scrub isn't going to beat good players.
Yeah, your fire deck.
Oh man, your warrior deck.
Your insect deck.
Your Exodia deck.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Exodia decks, they still...
Exodia decks?
Their Exodia decks.
Yeah, their Exodia decks was like the generic 60 cards and then 5 pieces of Exodia also just happened to be in there.
Yeah, so that's not going to cut it. You need something new.
Yeah, you really do. And the reason is just because, it just doesn't...
it's going to be inconsistent. It's going to be old.
It's going to be 60 cards or more, because they probably don't even know that 60 is the new cap.
And it's probably illegal.
There's a lot of changes in the game. But we'll get into that more later. That card doesn't work the way you think it does. Look, I know, back in... What was it? Scrub school?
Grade school.
A lot of cards, they just kind of did whatever your most knowledgeable friends said they did. And that's not necessarily true.
Don't you mean how you wanted it to work? Wasn't that how those cards usually worked?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if your opponent plays polymerization and you chain MST, it's not helping you in any shape or way. I'm sorry. It's not
MST doesn't negate.
It won't do it.
Yes, it does. My friend Travis said it does, and he's right.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It says it destroys the spelling trap.
And look, man, people don't understand. I know you probably understand how costs work and how regardless of whether it happens to your card, you gotta pay the cost or what is a cost. Look, more than likely, whatever you think your cards do, they don't.
It doesn't.
If you think your deck is perfect, it's been working out so well, that means
things are about to fall apart real fast. Yeah. This game's expensive and more than you think. So that's actually kind of one of the harder parts I find for returning people to understand is that cards cost money. People pay money. I know it's kind of scary, but they do. Usually like 5, 10, and that's like the least you can expect. You know what I mean? They're like cards are like 30 or 40 bucks.
I bought a $30 card last night.
I would never do that.
Yeah, people.
What did you buy?
Yeah, so this game is expensive though, and honestly, you kind of just gotta accept that if you want to win, or even make a deck at all,
like Cosmos.
Yeah, well, even the decks
that's a very hot.
Even the decks that don't win cost money though, right? Yeah, we're building this BLS and Buster Blader thing, and even those cards, you still have to pay a few bucks for the hollows.
They're not expensive as hell, but they still cost a pretty penny.
I feel like most of it's just people aren't even used to the idea of paying money for cards. They think it's all just trading, hollow for hollow, common for common. No, doesn't work that way.
Yeah, trading won't get what you want. So, new summon mechanics. The game has changed in these long years since you last played.
Yeah, it really has.
Fusion isn't the only thing there is now, and it's no longer a fusion deck.
Yeah, it's an extra deck. That's the hardest one.
And look, this is really difficult for them, y'all, because they didn't even understand how ritual summons work.
Yeah, that's true. And now and I find that they're always resilient. Synchro summoning stupid, these white monsters, and now it's black monsters, and
I'm gonna stick to my dragons.
And now there's spell slash monsters.
Yeah, we got spell monsters, man.
Oh god.
We have one whole XZ spell.
Not to mention the fact that you kind of have to learn the mechanics to keep up. It's not an option. You can't really play.
Yeah, no deck is going to allow you to not play those, or at least try to let you ignore them.
Because the first thing that happens is your cards, they won't affect those new mechanics the same way you're used to.
That's usually how it goes. You can't do this and such with pendulums because they don't go to the grave, and these materials aren't cards in the field.
There's a lot to Yu-Gi-Oh these days, and you have to be willing to do the work to get back into the game.
So, archetypes are better than combo decks. And I don't care what you say. When it comes down to winning and losing, not for having fun, when it's a matter of winning and losing, archetypes.
Yeah, that's today's
combo
game,
decks.
right?
Yeah,
you don't get to make like original.
I mean, if you do make a good one, Konami will destroy it.
They love doing
that.
Yeah,
that's actually a good point.
Yeah, Konami who bulldoze your little combo deck.
Yeah, like because I mean, back in the day, Breaker the Magical Warrior and like whatever other just good monsters, you just put them all in one deck. This little Frankenstein's monster thing,
just
and it worked.
They were decent, good, strong cards, and you can make things with them.
Today it's pick something you like.
Yeah.
Fluffles or Despots, whatever looks cool.
And a lot of like the necessary combo cards that are really useful for combo decks that either help them get going or help stall the opponent out, those cards have been hit. Look at Thunder King Raya, who will be just a decent card in any little combo deck since he slows down your opponent so bad.
That's a good point. They've all been. Konami pretty much gets rid of them.
Yeah, he's at 1, so he's not reliable.
Cards.
So you're inconsistent little combo deck. It doesn't have access to the cards that would help it protect itself.
Remember Dragon Rollers?
Yeah,
well, that's an archetype.
It's kind of it felt like a combo deck, but it was.
It was a bit of a combo deck, really.
But it got hit, so.
Yeah, it's gone. Thank Jesus.
Next, this game's really fast now. This is past the days of set 5 monsters, set 5 back rows, stall out, and just.
How do you set 5 monsters?
That's what they did. That's what the scrubs did.
In one turn?
Yeah.
Well, no, like just turn over turn, you just continue to.
It's got a point. In one turn it happened, yeah.
I remember when the kids would play in the schoolyard, like everyone's afraid of Mirror Force or back row or whatever, and so you just set 5 monsters, you never flipped anything, and you set 5 spells and traps. Yeah, it doesn't work. These days, games end like that. Like, you might not even get like 2 turns to play before you get OTK'd. And that's not even...
dare put a monster in defense.
And that's like hardly even, you don't have time to like flip monsters up and set up a bunch of intricate spell and trap setup. Nope, this game moves at the speed of sound, and you have to be... consistent, you have to be fast, you have to get things running off the road, like, quickly, because otherwise you just kind of get raffle stomped, and it sucks, but,
On that note, so the players are fast, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, a new player is going to be steamrolled by how quickly a good opponent's going to play against him.
Just that game?
Yeah.
Like, what? Wait a minute, it's the second turn game.
So it's actually going to be a thing where you have to keep the other player honest.
Yeah, you have to be familiar with things, too, so you can... keep that pace, right?
That's true.
Yeah, because a faster player is going to do moves, and they might not even wait for you to respond to their moves, and they'll just assume if you didn't respond, you didn't have anything.
Yeah, gotta go fast.
All right, so guys, the rubber bands were cute, but you need actual supplies for this game.
Oh yeah, that's always a rough one.
They're called sleeves. They're called deck boxes. They're called dice. Maybe dice.
They're called sleeves that fit your cards.
I wonder how few actual mint condition, like Legacy of Last cards actually exist.
Far too few. Like that's the worst part. Is like I always meet the new players. They either have no sleeves and like they're using a rubber band, or they have like the paper playmat, or the oversized like Walmart sleeves that are also like reflective and cheap and tear.
The cards are bent up. Got brush burns on them.
Hey, that just happens on any card with age.
The idea of a playmat, you can buy these on inkedplaymats.com. It's completely foreign to them.
And you can customize it for yourself.
Yeah, there are a couple different designs.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
But yeah, so you're gonna have to clean up your act because nobody, like for one thing, nobody wants to play against a guy whose cards don't look clean. And by clean, I mean sleeved. You want them matte. Those two things, at the very least, you need to be doing.
Do not run them through the washing machine. He does not mean that type of
been
clean.
through that.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. That really does suck.
Don't do that.
You're not as good as you think you are. I mean, I was the best duelist in my school.
No, you weren't.
Wow, that was cold.
I really thought I was. Seriously.
Let's face it.
Everybody was the
everybody
best duelist in their school. And
at the time,
none of that matters.
You're bad. You don't know how your cards work.
In your little microcosm, you all probably have some accepted rules that probably weren't actual rules. You let people get away with things, and they let you get away with things that were probably illegal in the game.
But you were friends.
And let's just be honest, you were all probably bad.
Yeah, getting up to speed with Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds is it's really a lot about just accepting that you don't really know much about the game today, and you need to learn because if you don't, I mean, like you just get left behind.
Completely.
You gotta kind of let go of the pride.
And yeah, to be ready to be a small fish in a big pond.
None of your cards are worth anything. Honestly, none of them are worth anything. All of your old commons, even if they're hollows, they're probably not worth anything.
They're probably promos.
They're probably in horrible condition. They're probably promos. They're not worth anything. that's not a bad thing, but that's just how it is. Like, I know a lot of people think like, I mean, it can be worth a lot to you, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, it can be worth
symbolic value. Like my ultimate ancient gear golem, that card means everything to me.
And nothing to anyone else.
That's true.
Like my gem knights.
Yeah. And you know, like, it's hard to like tell people this, but the easiest thing to do is just, like we were saying earlier, just kind of accept that you have to spend some money and your old cards aren't worth anything, and it's easy to, you know, get used to that. Yeah, but your old cards, your old Exodia is probably bent up, your old this and that, like, none of it's worth anything. So when it comes to trading, that's when it usually gets complicated.
They're worth more to the furnace. Okay, so there's one last thing. Actually, it's probably like the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's called the ban list.
Oh.
A lot of people just don't know it's a thing. Because when you're playing casual with friends, you're not looking up rulings online. You're not looking into what's coming out next. Well, you might be, but you're definitely not looking into what's banned because that ruins the game for you.
Yeah, so many people I know, like even those people we met the other day, we recently met some scrubs at our school. But anyway, they were like, yeah, when I play with my friends, we don't play by like, you know, ban lists and tournament rules. We use what we want. Cool, great, you can do that, but there's a ban list.
And it's time, like, if you want to play with the big boys, and that's really horrible to say considering most of them are overgrown children, you've got to respect the rules.
Dang.
Jeez.
That's a list of cards that you probably don't realize are banned that are, you know, Pot of Greed.
Yeah, everyone's got like their 3 pots. That's
Monster Reborn. I know you probably don't believe it, but sadly it's true.
Poor Monster Reborn.
Yeah, you gotta get up to speed.
Heavy Storm and Giant Trunate. Neither of those cards are legal.
Or the people who have like 3 pieces of each Exodia.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
3, you know.
I have a great Exodia deck. I always get it off. Like, well, maybe that's because you're running 2 extra pieces of each one.
Like the Rare Hunter in that episode.
Oh my god. And this isn't really a ban list thing, but people don't know it anyway. I'm just going to mention it anyway. You know, your 6 copies of Harpy Lady.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you gotta keep up with stuff like that.
Like,
the ban list, it's a thing, it changes, it hurts.
And like they errata things get nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
Like as if they specifically tell you how certain things actually work out because the cards themselves won't tell you. In the case of like naming, oh god, names are just horrible.
Yeah, everything's changed.
Like Buster Blader cards, those things are annoying.
Not nearly as bad as the new Red Eyes archetype cards. Those are more annoying.
Like how many of them aren't what they say they are?
Yeah.
Most of them.
So those are 10 of our sort of hard truths that returning players have to deal with. Have you ever had an experience where you kind of have to get an old friend back into Yu-Gi-Oh and go through this painful sort of, you know, bubble bursting process? Share your experiences. What are some of the hard things players have to learn, you know? What's the easiest way to maybe let them down softly and slowly? Leave it in the comments, and remember you can check out all the social media in the comments. We're giving away a Wing Raiders box by TCGplayer.
I want it more than you do.
This month. And
I want it more.
yeah, and you can also buy the playmats like I said. Subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And question of the day that I'll put in one of these corners. Did you get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! After being a childhood fan, or were you just a new person who got in recently because of a friend you've never heard of it? Answer the poll, and that's gonna be it for the video.
Cool.
Happy dueling, guys.
Team APS out.
Peace.